Hi, I am Caz Parker for MMH, the home of rock radio, and today I'm joined all the way from the US of A by the fantastic DK from the incredibly awesome Kickin Valentina. Woo! So
Woo!
I know, and we might even be joined by Heber as well.
Man,
We don't know, but as a pre-warning, he might just ping in at some point, and we will just deal with it, and that'll be absolutely fine. But first of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm marvelous, thank you. Yeah, really
Good.
good. It's afternoon for you over there, and it's evening here for me. And I'm honestly, I'm a night owl. I'm better in the evening anyway, so this is all good.
Me too.
Mm.
Today is like marking like probably the second day. It's getting really hot here now.
Is
It just
it?
yeah, like last week it was rainy and still had the heaters on. It was kind of cool, but it's hot. It's 80 some degrees today and I got the air conditioning on. So,
Wow.
yeah, spring and summer is here.
Well, it's very spring-like here. It's mild. And do you know what I think as well? Because I feel like the UK is your second home because we love having you here. And I think we've kind of adopted you into the fold. And the very fact that the first thing you talk about is the weather, you're basically a Brit now.
I love it there. I can't wait to get back. We are
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Will I be seeing you anywhere?
Course. Well, I'll be doing my best, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm pretty sure we can sort that out. That'll be definitely on my list. Um,
cool.
so so yeah, as I said, we love it having you here. I feel like you're our adopted sons. I really do. I think
Oh,
it's ace back into the fold. So it's the spa. Sorry, it's the Star Spangled Fist Fight Tour of the UK, named after the album that was released last
oh,
year, which is fantastic. Um,
thank
we're not going to have any actual fighting though, Star Spangled or not, because we don't condone violence here at MMH, the home of rock radio. But
All
if it's
right.
unless it's a dickhead, and then obviously you can be as violent as you like. But
Get
we got 7 dates all over the UK. So
Mm-hmm.
no excuses really for missing out because it's all over. But what I will do is at the end, I will run through the dates properly because I like to do it at the end so people can run off and buy their tickets straight away. And at the moment, we need their full attention to hear all about it and why they
Yeah.
should
No,
think.
this is we're calling this like the Star Spangled Fist Fight UK round two, because we were just there and
You
yeah,
were. I was there.
back and we miss you guys already.
Yeah. Coming back so soon. I know. Always welcome. Always welcome. So, okay. First of all, because you do come here frequently now. So, what do you look forward to the most when you come to the UK?
Oh, seeing the fans, of course.
Yeah.
Rocking the stages, talking with folks like you. Um, like you said, we've become kind of like family over there and got some really close friends and we just enjoy taking it all in, on our days off. If we get time to go sightseeing, we do our best.
Hmm.
We always make time for the fans. And yeah, we just look forward to hitting the stages and hanging out with the KB Mob UK.
Yeah. Any favorite sites over here?
As far as the venues go, that we love all of them.
I think you need to get out of the venues though and go and visit some castles and stuff.
We do. We always go to the Edinburgh Castle when we're down there doing Bannerman's. We do our souvenir shopping.
You do,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, sometimes we just don't have time. After gig turns into either I'm hanging out and drinking, and then I'm gonna die later on the ride to the next gig.
Yeah.
We just have to say goodnight and go home and get a good night's sleep in because sometimes we got some late nights and really early mornings, but do our best to take it all in.
Good, good,
And
good.
yeah, we love it all.
What about food wise? Have you got any treats that you look forward to that you can't get in the US that are better over here, like chocolate?
We're stopped with a lot of truck stops and gas stations and stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
as far as treats go, you guys got the same kind of stuff that Kit Kats and
Um,
whatnot that we have. um as far as the food goes, I remember the first time I went and I was like, man, let me get some chips or some French fries
yes.
with a side of ranch, and they were like, we don't have ranch.
No.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm moving to the UK and opening a ranch store.
Yeah. I'll tell you where they do. They do it in Subway, and for your sandwich, they do have ranch dressing there, and
Oh,
certain
and
restaurants, but not as a standard in a chip shop. I'm afraid you won't get that. But
but
you've always got to
you know,
have a curry when you come to the UK. It's got to be
yeah.
done.
Well, I just get mayo then, and I've come to love, doing the chips with the mayo. So,
Ah, true. Okay, fair enough. We found a solution that works. Anyway, so let's do a little selling job for the tour because that's what we've come here to talk about in the main. Um, I would like to hope that most of the people who are watching this right now have seen you at some point live in the UK or in America, because that's where I first saw you on the Rock Cruise. So I'd love to hope that everybody has seen you. If they haven't, or even if they have, let's do a little selling job and a reminder of what to expect from a show and why they should come.
all right.
Over to you. It's your selling job.
What was the question again? Do you want me
Oh,
to?
the question is, I want you to sell in why they
Oh,
should come to a show and what to expect from a Kickin Valentina live show. In case they've never seen you before, and if they have, let's just remind them.
oh, well, you can expect, first of all, even before the band hits the stage, you can expect to meet a lot of like-minded rock and roll folks, and a lot of them know each other already. As far as the show goes, if you're looking for a good time and a good rock and roll show, that's what we do. We throw down a good rock show. We interact with the fans. Like I said, we don't hide backstage. We like to come out. So chances are, if you've never seen us before, you will meet us before you actually watch us perform.
Yeah.
Um, if you like in your face, catchy rock and roll anthems, um, you like to connect with the band. That's what we like. That's the mission. We want to connect with all the fans. Um, and what I love about a lot of the UK folks? They come for the first band and they stay for the last band.
Yeah.
So it's not always about the headliner as much as it is about the party atmosphere. We like to think of it like it's one big party. And the minute we're done, we take a second for ourselves, and then we come right out to the merch booth and you know
Yeah.
come out and
You do.
shake hands and take photos and
Yeah.
talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's not always about the music,
Yeah.
we like to just discuss whatever's on your mind.
Yeah, you like new friends as well and all of that. And
Sure.
I'd have to agree. I think there is a certain energy about a Kickin Valentina show that is certainly infectious. I think even if somebody, like you just said, I mean, if somebody doesn't know your songs inside out, they'd still enjoy the show because it's so infectious and catchy and the energy that you project. And I think the big thing is you guys absolutely love what you do and it shows. And I personally, I think as somebody in the audience, you buy into that. You buy into it. It's a big part of what a live show is. Not all bands do that, but I think if you really want to connect with your audience, it's a big way to do it. You're looking them in the eye, you're giving them, how to do a great shot for everybody, for the photographers and stuff as well. Um, and yeah, so if people haven't seen you before, they should. They definitely should, and they wouldn't be disappointed. I can guarantee that. So
Uh,
not a,
you know, and you know that I'm always right up there, man. I'm right out
you
there.
are. You
So
don't really stay on the stage, do you? You can't stay still.
it's gonna be hard to avoid me,
Yeah,
but I
it's
come out. Yeah, I'll
it's the
I'll be
truth.
right here with you.
And you mentioned the support acts as well, and you've got Sisters Doll coming with you on this tour. So again, two great bands already on the lineup. I mean, I don't know if there'll be any others dropping in as well for opening at some of the venues. Sometimes there are three on, depending on timing, but we're guaranteed Sisters Doll. We've got KV. What else you need for a good night out? You don't. So there you go. If people haven't already been convinced, by the end of this interview, when I tell them all of the venues, they can go straight to it and get on with it. And we will see them there, won't we?
Yeah, and we also have, you can go to www.kickinvalentina.com for all the ticket links to all the shows. And yeah, message us with any questions. We've already, got in touch with so many of the UK fans already from a lot of our previous interviews and posts that we've done. And, we released a new single not too long ago called The Gotaways. It's off of the forthcoming record that we got coming out called Raw Tracks, B-Sides, and Bootlegs. and we're going to be dropping the second single here pretty soon. So stay posted.
Amazing. That was going to be one of my questions actually, is what's coming next? Because I can see that that's scheduled for May. So what date in May is that coming out? Because I can see it on Spotify ready and I can pre-save it, which I've done.
May 2nd is
May
when
2nd.
the new album will drop.
Amazing. So that's good. So okay. So we know about the current single. We know there's a new single coming out. We know there's a new album coming out. We know there's a tour coming out. There's so much going on. It's unbelievable.
That is.
Is there anything that we don't know about that you can I like to push for secrets and exclusives because it's just in my nature. And if I can get anything secret, then it makes me feel good. And obviously everyone else is going to find out as well. So I got to ask, is there anything brewing that you can even hint towards for us?
Well, you know what's funny you should ask because I actually sent a video to Chris Taylor yesterday
Did you?
that's gonna be a video to announce the next single and the date it drops and the actual title of the new single. And you know what's funny because I've already seen, I'm not sure which interview it was in, but they've already posted. Oh, it's we've already getting like Sleaze Rocks and a lot of these online sites already, commenting on the full new record. So apparently they must have it.
Oh,
And they've already put all the track listings and everything on there
the track
already.
listings are on Spotify already, so I can see them, but I can only access the first single at the moment. The rest of it like grayed out, so I can't get in there. But I can
Oh,
see the track list, so that
well,
that is already on the pre-save.
okay, well, the
So that's
new the new single is going to drop on, I believe it's April 18th,
oh,
and it's titled Wild Ones.
hey, we know a few of them.
And if you want to know, since I got you, only for you though,
Okay,
the song was written for the fans of the Call of the Wild Festival. I labeled them the Wild Ones.
perfect. Oh, I love that.
So that's where the inspirato came for this song.
I love that. Oh, everyone's going to be so happy when they hear that.
Yeah, and I've
Because
never even discussed that, but that's the truth.
that's lovely. I love that. Because the thing is, we're like at the moment, Call of the Wild's been heavily promoted. The last 10 bands have just been announced for this year, and it's the first outdoor festival of the season that most of us go to. So there's a bit of a buzz of excitement. So all of the regulars are going to be dead excited when they find that out. And I'll tell you what, I be DJing, so maybe I will
Uh
get in the
make
set.
make sure that you send the message that yeah, you know what, and I miss so many of those people at the Call of the Wild Festival. They were the inspiration for my lyrics for this, um being that we are the wild ones, but they are the wild ones in the Call of the Wild
Exactly that.
festival setting, the wild ones. So, and I even went, well, where's it at? While I was there last year or two couple of years ago, I got the tattoo that says Wild One
So you
at,
did look at that.
at the Call of the Wild Festival. Because the previous year, they were like, how every year after the festival, they're always like, well, go ahead and fill this suggestion box with what do you think we can do to make the festival better for next year? And at the end of that, a couple of years back, I was like, man, you need a tattoo booth. And then I believe it was John Hardcastle that had messaged me, and he goes, "Man, we're getting one, and we can get you a tattoo." And I was like,
Amazing.
"Yes!" Oh,
Amazing. Look at that.
and we all got. I was the first one to get the tattoo, and then the rest of the guys got little tattoos too. Shout out to Black Anvil Tattoo. He was awesome. They were awesome, and yeah, it was an awesome. It was a great time and a nice little souvenir.
Absolutely. I love that. A permanent reminder of us all.
And then here comes the song.
Yeah, exactly. In perfect timing as well, just in time for the festival. So that is fantastic. I love all of that. And Raz and Upstage and John, Dave, Lee, they're all going to love that as well as everybody else that's involved, including myself. So yeah, really happy with that. Brilliant.
Cool.
So we've talked about the tour, we've talked about the new album, we've talked about new singles. So I do like to just, just get a bit of different. bits of your personality to come out in my interview. So I try and ask a few random questions. I'll try
Oh,
not to go,
random. I know your random questions. I love the way you conduct an interview.
oh no, because because I interviewed Chris before, so you already know.
I have, and I think it's awesome.
Okay, all right. Well, we can go random then. I try and like gauge it. I think how weird should I go? So I've tried to. Sometimes the same ones come up because they're too good not to, and it's different. Not the same. The same people don't watch all my interviews. They watch the bands they like. So I think to myself, it would be awful to waste to not give you one of my favorite questions, which will come up in the would you rather section. So we will do that.
Uh,
Meanwhile, a couple of other questions, just so people get to know you a little bit. Um, what is a gig memory that you never want to let go of?
a gig memory. Now,
Mm,
are you talking with Kickin Valentina?
doesn't matter actually, whichever.
Oh, a gig memory. Well, I'll
That,
tell you what. Um, one that's probably one of the our favorites. It was probably the first run because when I got in the band, boy, we just took off.
mm,
Boom. I mean, I was playing, and I remember doing the Bang Your Head Festival in Germany, and what a surprise that gig was, and it's available the whole full show on YouTube. Um, that right there, I remember we went and talked with Horace, who was doing the Bang Your Head. Rest in peace. We lost him a couple years ago, and they haven't done it. But I heard they're trying to revamp the festival. But
yeah,
the memory was Kaz. He wanted me and the band to go sit and have a drink with him, right, and kind of get to know us while all the hoopla is going on out on the fairgrounds. And the next thing I know, I got this woman coming and going, "You guys got to go to the stage right now. Got to go to the stage right now." And I literally I wasn't even ready yet to get, none of us were, it was like she walked us directly right from where we were sitting having drinks with him to the stage. And I was like, no, I got to stop and put my belt on or anything. Next thing I know, she goes, walk through the door, boom. The place is packed. And they handed me the mic, went up onto the drum riser, and the intro started. And I was like, holy shit. It was like that quick. And what a show that we had. I mean, that was like the wow,
yeah.
this is
So,
going to work. This is going to work. That was such an amazing surprise.
and
And
that
that
was
was,
really early days, was it? In the
oh,
kick.
that was just right after we started, came over and started doing stuff. Boom. Then there was that. And it was awesome. Now, on another note, that isn't a gig, is when we went to, it was the first show when I went with them to Europe for the very first time. We were supposed to play a venue in, I believe, Copenhagen
Yeah,
called High Voltage. And
yeah,
just all of a sudden, it was canceled. The club was under construction. They didn't have their liquor license, all of this. And it was like, oh, man, what are we going to do? Um, and the record label, Michael Anderson from Mighty Music, he owns a bar called the Zeppelin Bar. He's a big Led Zeppelin fan.
right.
So he was like, why don't you guys just come down and, you got nothing to do today. And we were throwing them down. Chris doesn't drink. Me, Heber, and Jimmy, man, we were getting busy on his bar.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn, I got to find something for you guys to do. You guys are going to drink me dry. And he goes, do you want to go record? And we're like, hell yeah, we want to go and record. So we went to the amazing Medley Studios
I know
right.
of Medley.
Oh, if you ever seen it, it looks like it's in an alley. There's graffiti. It's so unsuspecting that like legends like Prince and Sting, and even right before we were there, Justin Bieber was in there. And it's so unsuspecting until they open that door and it goes underground into the studio. And just to be in that place, and when 13 hours went by, we've already recorded 3 new songs that we were not even expecting to do it. We've only written 3 songs at that time together.
Yeah.
We were doing most of the old catalog. So that was pretty freaking awesome. And then, speaking of Bang Your Head, we added the live Get Ready from Bang Your Head on the end of what became the Chaos in Copenhagen EP.
Amazing. Isn't that
So that was
Soren
amazing.
Anderson's
Yeah.
studio? Isn't that Soren Anderson's studio, Medley?
It was. And he's the one that mixed our album.
Yeah, because I know him. He's a good friend of mine.
Lars then. Is Lars his brother?
I don't know Lars unless it's Lars. There is a Lars that I know from the band's statement, but I don't think that's the same one. There's
Well,
probably
M's
quite a
last name.
common name over
Lars,
there.
yeah, Lars is the one who recorded us And then we left, and they had Soren mix the whole thing because Soren was sending us, different mixes of the EP, which was cool. So yeah, shout out to Soren. Boom, great guy.
Another shout out to Soren. I'll have to send him this clip as well. Remind him. This keeps happening. I keep meeting mutual friends and having to send him a WhatsApp and like, here you go. Here's another video of me meeting one of your friends somewhere. It's hilarious. Ah, those are brilliant memories. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so another gig one. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment on stage?
Oh, millions.
But what's the funniest?
I'll tell you a recent one.
Go on.
It was last year. Um, we have this fan that she follows us everywhere. I'm not going to mention her name,
Hmm.
but after a show, because I had this pair of pants that were just ripped to death, and I was like, man, you only brought a couple pairs of pants, and I get around and stuff, and sometimes you might snag on something, and it really ripped a good
Yeah.
spot of the front of my pants. And I was, I guess, laying down on the ground, in the moment, doing whatever I do. And she told me I could see your dingaling.
Uh, oh,
Get a
guess who's
picture of it,
entered?
did you? And then
Just
she
at
was
this
like, "Oh."
moment.
And
Guess who?
I gave that woman my leather gloves that night. Said, we can have them.
Amazing.
But
That's so funny. Guess who's just
yeah,
entered just at the moment when we're talking about your dingaling?
she's like, I saw your dingaling, and I was like, oh, okay.
So there you go, Heber. Well,
Oh,
welcome.
Oh, sorry guys, I got held up at work,
That's all
and I
right.
walked in right into a ding-a-ling question.
You've walked
Son of
into
a
the
bitch.
dingaling question. I know. You've basically missed all the sensible stuff, and we're now on embarrassing moments on stage.
I
And
want Heber's embarrassing story. Heber,
Was
where's
that
your embarrassing story?
my most embarrassing story?
What's one of them? I said these happen daily and shit, but
rated.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah. I mean, with this band or altogether?
Doesn't matter altogether. Before you say that, though, welcome. It is great to see you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we did
Great to see
say at the
you.
beginning that you might join us if you could. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just funny that you've joined at such a. This is going to be
Yeah,
end up being one of my favorite interviews because it's just going to be so random.
my ding-a-ling. That's what I walked into.
yeah.
You
That
did.
should be the next song. My ding-a-ling.
Well, she asked for it, man. That's one of them.
She did, and she
That's
got
right.
some leather gloves, and
Yes.
I was slightly distracted trying to admit you into the interview, but yeah,
Mhm.
the end of that story was yeah, and that fan knows who she is if she's watching, but we will
Oh,
not reveal
Okay.
her name publicly.
yeah.
Right, right. That's great. I guess one of my most embarrassing ones was a while back. I was playing and I leaned right really close to the edge of the stage, and this girl reaches up right there and she just grabs me by the dingaling and knocked me off the stage. I fell over like this, and all I could do was I turned my body around just so my guitar wouldn't hit the floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we've basically got two dingaling stories.
Oh
And I do
yes,
think
because our dingalings are always right in their faces.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Yeah, you know.
our eye line is dingaling height. I think it's
Right.
hilarious as well. That's what we've decided to name it. I mean, this is going to be on the YouTube that is, I'm going to put not made for kids, so we can use other words. We can say
Okay.
things like dick, but we're allowed to swear.
All right.
It's all fine. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right. All right.
it's
So we'll
all
switch over to the
fine.
word cock.
I know. I think to be fair, because you dropped yourself straight in it at that moment, I think the
Right,
obvious thing
right,
to do was
right.
go for a similar story, wasn't it? Might as well.
Yeah. And
But
another
yeah.
time, kind of the same issue. It was like this, and the girl reached and she pulled down my pants.
I've had
Yeah.
that happen before.
Right? You had that happen too?
Right, grab my
And
belt, pulls. I have no ass, so my
yeah,
shit's not
right.
off.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have ass, but it didn't matter. She yanked him all the way down. So I'm playing guitar with the only thing that was covering me was my guitar.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Hands were down on my knees. My
At
Uh,
hands
least
on my knees with your ass in a breeze.
At
that,
least you've got your guitar to protect your modesty. That's all we can ask
Right.
for in
Well,
life.
no,
Like if you were,
at that point, I didn't really give a shit. I just kind of waved my cock all over the place.
yeah, what are you gonna do?
Right? You
yeah,
own it at that point.
Oh,
DK
shit.
hasn't even got a guitar to protect him. He's just got to go with it.
No, if it happens to him, he just knows. He's just gonna go hide behind my guitar.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll
After
just
exactly.
gotta lean over and share it with you.
get that one little rip in your pants after some time will get bigger and bigger.
Yes, yes,
Bigger.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Pretty soon, we're rocking commando and your dingalings hanging out.
And
Yeah.
your dingling's hanging out. Yeah, it's very true. Very true. I had this. I think it was last tour. One of my pants split right down my legs, and I'm going, "Wow, I'm feeling a breeze." And I didn't know why until I got off of stage. Right?
Yeah. Brilliant. And anyway, right, more questions for you, more random
Mm-hmm.
questions for you. So, embarrassing moments, we're all about cocks or dingalings, however we want to talk about it. Here's a more sensible one though. Um, have you ever met any of your musical heroes that has made you go a bit starstruck and fanboy? So not just anybody that you've met, but somebody that you've kind of, because I mean, obviously there are people when they meet you that do this, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, you guys are dead warm and you're always chatting to the fans and you're really accessible. But there are
Mm-hmm.
people that get dead nervous when they meet you. Like a couple of my friends, Aid and Trish, were like, please, can we get a photo with DK? And I was like, of course you can get a photo with DK. And they were like, well, will you help us do that? And they
Mm-hmm.
waited till the end of that gig at KK's and I was chatting away and they were like, we still haven't got the photo and it's your fault because you haven't made the
Mm-hmm.
intro. And I was like, oh my God, the pressure. You were there
Mm-hmm.
chatting to everybody else. So
Sometimes they want to take a picture and we just kind of throw them for a loop by goofing around. And then it's like, all right, let's take the picture.
let's
Yeah.
do
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, we did get the picture as it happens at that gig. But who's been that person for you that's made you go, oh my God, I really want a picture? Or I don't know, anything, whatever story you've got. But I'm just interested in the ones that make you go a bit starstruck and fanboy.
Heber, go ahead.
So, I mean, I really don't get starstruck, but I did when I met, Gene and Paul.
Yep. I
I
know.
Yes.
mean, and they actually bought me a drink, so that was even more um,
Awesome.
outstanding. But I did get, when when I met Jakey Lee for the first time, that was he's one of my guitar heroes,
Wow.
and we were just hanging out. We actually did a show together. We actually got to talk backstage and hang out on his bus, and we're hanging out. I still talk to him to this day. So I kind of felt like a little fangirl at that moment because is one of my guitar heroes, and here I am just hanging out with him and just telling jokes, and that's the picture that I have in the band room, DK, of me and him are both giggling like schoolgirls that my wife took, right? Yeah. So he's one of them that got me. Yeah.
Amazing. He's lovely as well, isn't he? I
Yeah.
bumped
Mm-hmm.
into him. The first time I bumped into him was in one of the, I'm going to say lifts because a UK
Yeah.
audience will be watching this, but in
Mm-hmm.
one of the elevators
Mm-hmm.
on the Rock Cruise. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, it's Jakey Lee. Like, it's ridiculous. And then I think I've got a picture on the beach with him as well. And you just think,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he wasn't, he's not my guitar hero, so I didn't get starstruck as
Mm-hmm.
such, but he's a legend. And
Right.
what I love
Mm-hmm.
about the rock cruises, and not to be a cruise bore, because obviously there are people that'll be like, oh my God, everyone wangs on about how good the cruises are, but it's the randomness of where you meet people who you may have
Mm-hmm.
grown up with posters on your wall of, and you'll
Right.
suddenly
Right.
be like, I'm on a
Mm-hmm.
boat with them, and I'm on a beach with them. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
never
Yeah.
expected that to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love that. I love that. And Jakey Lee is in fact a guitar god. So
Yep.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
fair
Mm-hmm.
one to get starstruck over. How about
Mm-hmm.
you, DK? Have you had a chance to think of anybody yet?
You know, um, it'd have to be Motley Crue.
Oh wow.
You
It, wa-
know,
it wasn't Jimmy Burdine.
well, after Jimmy, of course.
This is all after Jimmy,
Jimmy,
Yeah,
right?
Bur- yeah, after
Yeah.
Jimmy.
of course. You get over that eventually. You just have a drink and you can calm your
Oh,
nerves around Jimmy.
Yeah.
I get to stay at his house. Look at that.
Yeah.
I've
Mhm.
seen that man
You
without a.
name dropping, clang. Me and Jimmy Badee, we're like that.
Oh,
Have you seen his dingaling? DK,
But yeah,
you stay over his house when you come over. Have
I
you seen his?
do.
Yeah, right. Smoking weed, watching each other's dingaling.
He lets me hug. I've even
so
cooked that man tacos before.
so Motley Crue, tell us about your meeting with Motley
Yeah.
Crue. How did
Um,
that go about?
Well, long story short, was it 1980, 1995? Because I've always been a huge Motley Crue fan. Kiss and Motley Crue, man, those were my bands when I was in high school. I mean, I loved of course, all the other ones, and from the Dawkins and Van Halen. I mean, just everything. Kind of, I'm sure we all have the same. But yeah, when I had moved to Hollywood, what was I like 23 or so? Because I played guitar for a long time. That's all I did. I was not the singer. I still wrote, lyrics and songs and stuff, but played guitar
Yeah,
for the whole first half of my musical life.
yeah.
And I had formed the first Motley Crue tribute band. I worked at the FM station in North Hollywood. And I actually, here's another good story. I remember because I was the door guy. I checked everybody's IDs when you came in. So I've seen all the movie stars, all the rock stars. I used to sit there and try to network and I talk with them. I
Yeah.
remember the time when John Corabi came in and he had a crew cut. He had a blonde crew cut. And
No
I was
way.
and I checked his ID and I was like, fuck, it's John Corabi from, he looks just like he does on his ID, like he does in the magazines.
Yeah.
And he go and in the lobby, because I used to work at the FM station and we played that Motley Crue thing there twice a month and it was pretty big. He goes, tell me about that band. And I didn't tell him I was in the band. And then he goes on to tell me he just got off the phone with Nikki Sixx and Vince Neil's coming back in the band. And he explained that he had the bleach blonde crew cut because that was going to be the new look for the Generation Swine record that he was already a part of.
Mhm.
Wow.
So from there, it went on to Motley Crue coming and watching my band at the FM station, and then they were getting together for the American Music Awards, which we went to
Yeah.
um, at the Shrine Auditorium in Hollywood. And he invited us to come down when he was donating his motorcycle off the Girls, Girls, Girls album
No.
to the Hard Rock Beverly Center right down there in Beverly Hills. So we all went down there. He had his son Gunner. He was so really little, and he came and sat at our table. And that was like the clue, it's like, man, this guy,
Mhm.
idolized him and just that whole world they lived in for so long. And there's a picture of me and him in Metal Edge magazine. And that was my first, because, you meet people, but like Heber was saying, man, when it's people like Kiss and people that you've just really admired, and now that we're doing what we do, and it's because of them,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
we
We
do a
do
lot
what
of
we do.
we do them.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. And when you're younger, it even adds, it's more intense because I come from a really small little place out of nowhere in California, and to finally be in that world, let alone be next to him and have him talk to you and treat you as an equal is freaking awesome.
It's insane,
So
isn't it?
that was my first wow.
I love that. That's such a cool
Mhm.
story. All of it, everything. It's super cool. I love it. Oh my God, that's like the best job in the world. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I love that. No, see, this is why I asked that question because you get stories that you wouldn't get otherwise. So I love that.
Mhm.
It ain't
Okay,
nothing like
then.
telling stories though. Come on,
Pardon?
can't beat a good dingling story.
You
Yeah.
can't, exactly. We
Nothing.
seem to have
Nothing
squeezed
beats.
as many of them
Mm.
in as we possibly can, which is great. All right.
Well, I'm going to believe you on that one, Kaz. I'm going to take your word for it.
You can watch it back
Yeah.
before you joined and where we ended up to when you did join and how we got there.
Oh,
Always a strange path we
Mhm.
chose, but anyway.
Mhm.
Okay, one more random question and then we'll do some would you rather quick fires. In the film in the film of your life, who would you have play you? And money's no object, life and death is no object. You can pick any actor, anybody you want, but you've got to pick someone to represent you in the film of your life.
Wow.
and it has to be a famous actor.
Well, I guess it doesn't. I mean, but you can't pick Jimmy Badine. You've got,
Oh no, I got you kidding me? He's right up there with Clooney and
Too many bathroom breaks on that one.
but you
I
can't
would
play yourself. That's the rule in this. You've
Oh,
got
you
to
can't
choose
play
someone.
yourself, right?
Mm.
I would have my son play me.
Oh, that's a really cute idea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a nice answer. I like that.
Yeah,
No one's ever said that before.
so I would have to say my son Desi.
Yeah,
Right.
I love that. That you're
I guess
right. It didn't have to be somebody famous because that's a better answer. I like that.
Right. Oh my God, I never thought about that. But I guess I would have to go with my favorite actor back in his prime. I would have to say Clint Eastwood. Mhm.
Oh my God, that'd
Right.
be brilliant.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
Right.
really?
He's like one of my favorite actors,
Young?
but it would have to be back when he was younger, obviously, because he's like 89 years old now or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Clint's
that doesn't matter because for the purposes of this question, it doesn't matter.
Mm.
It's not real
Right.
anyway.
Hmm.
But if it does happen, we'll have to find you an alternative, obviously. But he could play you in your later years if it does a future, if
Right.
needed.
Right.
If we
Or I
make
could
it
play
about
him.
now and we do the what's going
Or
to
you
happen.
I could play him. I could play him now, just sit in the front porch with a shotgun. Just get off my lawn.
Have my
uh,
Right?
lawn, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gran Torino. Get off my
Gran
oh,
Torino. One of my favorite films of all time,
Mhm,
Gran Torino.
mhm,
I love it. It's incredible. But yeah, good choices, both of those incredible choices. So, okay. Right, we'll do some would you rathers. I was going to do who in the band section, but let's just
mhm.
go for would you rathers instead.
Okay.
Um, we'll start off light and nice. Would you rather, if you had the choice, would you rather have the General Lee or Knight Rider's kit for your vehicle?
Generally.
Would you?
I'm gonna
Hmm.
say Knight Rider. That shit drives itself.
Yeah, it
I would
does.
no DUIs, man. It'd be done.
Exactly. In theory, have a drink, car drives you home. That's what
Oh
I've
yeah.
always thought. And you've got the
Kid,
Mhm,
turbo boost,
kid,
but
get me home.
the
Kid
General Lee
drive
is undoubtedly, oh,
kid
sorry.
drive me to the after party.
mhm.
Yeah. But generally is undoubtedly a
But he's
badass.
going to correct you. That's the problem with General Lee. He's going to correct you to try to get you out of those bad situations. So he may just drive you home instead.
Yeah. He's good though too, man. Tell yeah.
Two badass cars. I mean,
Law.
as it's not my interview, but my issue with the General Lee is the doors don't open and that whole thing about when they used to have to scoop Daisy Duke up and shove her in the car,
Well, that was the
legs
best part.
first.
That was
I
the
know, but like
best part.
I don't want to be the driver and be having to wheel in through the window. So, I can see that going horribly wrong. There'd be split pants and they'd be seeing my dingaling.
Yeah, but that's the ultimate muscle car. When
It
we were
I,
is.
growing up.
I like the
Mhm.
scene where they got like Uncle Jesse,
Oh
Dave.
yeah,
They got like 12 people in the General Lee. All
yeah.
Yeah.
And a crate full of moonshine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
go.
I'm running, Roscoe and
Yeah.
Boss Hog.
Go for it. I know.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Go
watch
get
it
him, Duke.
now.
Oh.
You've made me nostalgic now. I'm gonna have to watch it. Okay, would you rather listen to an annoying laugh for a whole day or get tickled for an hour?
Oh man, I would say an annoying laugh for the whole day.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
mean,
ticklish. I'll pee my pants.
me too. I'm ticklish, man, and that
Yeah.
I'm gonna get mad.
You know, I
I've
it's
heard that annoying laugh all day, by the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We're kind of used to that, you know. But
Uh,
The drinking problem started.
yeah.
I won't ask too many questions about that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I quite like the idea of being tickled for an hour. Although you're right, probably would wet myself as well. Would you rather
Mhm.
be trapped in a romantic comedy with your enemies or a horror movie with your friends?
Horror movie with my friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
A horror movie with my friends.
Good
Hmm.
choice. Good choice. That
Hmm.
might be
So,
the first time I've asked that one. That's a new one.
Hmm.
good question.
Mm. I know,
Because
and
we'll
it's one.
turn it, because if it's all our friends, we'll turn it around.
Yeah, we'll be
You know what I'm saying?
we'll be the hunters.
You
We'll be the
say that.
hunters on that one. We're turning it around. Hmm.
You say that, but you know that there's
Hmm.
always going to be. I bet you could pick out of your friends the ones that you're thinking are going to be in this movie. I bet you could pick the ones that will go first. It's always
Oh
obvious in a
yeah,
horror
yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah.
The one that
Hmm.
falls over in the woods,
Hmm.
done. You know,
Done. Hmm.
That'd be
exactly. All right, these are weird ones then before we wrap up. Would you
Hmm.
rather have a rhinoceros head for a big toe or your head on backwards?
My head on backwards.
I'm gonna go with the rhinoceros, man. You can do some
Hmm.
damage kicking with that big toe.
No,
Edge.
I would say my head on backwards.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
know what? I'm not even going to ask for a reason why, because sometimes it's better to just not know. Just
Yeah.
leave it
Yeah.
there. I want
Oh,
my head on
I
backwards.
got a million reasons why. So I can watch everybody kiss my ass.
Yeah. Perfect.
See where you've been.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. See where I've been.
See where you've been. All right, and
Mm,
the final one, because this is my favorite one, and I am starting to think, I ask everybody this, but it's my favorite one because it's so weird, and I don't
mhm.
care if everyone who watches my interviews is sick of hearing it. I always want to know which one you'll choose out of this one. It's just weird. Would you rather have a 12-inch belly button that sways to the music, or accordions for legs?
A 12-inch belly button.
Swaying to the music, any
What?
music.
Th- that could be interesting. At that point, you just go to porn, so you can do double penetration. You know, hey baby, I got my 12-inch belly button.
Have we've had the accordion legs on a good
Yeah,
streak,
yeah, yeah.
so
I don't want no accordion legs.
yeah,
I don't want to hear that thing walking.
I know,
yeah.
it's never going to stop. Every time you even
Yeah,
go to the toilet in the night.
I'm gonna
the
go with
12
that
inch,
button.
you could just wrap it around. You could tape it.
I know. Well, yeah. Well, you say that, but I don't think that's the rules. I think you've got to let that belly button run free because
Run free.
this is just a would you rather scenario. You can't have it all your own way. You've got to. The punishment is the belly button is there for everyone to see all the time
Right. Well,
and
I guess it
swaying
could be.
when
I guess it could be kind of kinky. At that point, you might as well kids instead of feathers,
Yeah, that's an odd question.
goats and ferrets and shit. Mhm.
it is an odd question, DK,
Mhm.
and that's why I like it because I haven't found one that's even more random than that.
Oh, I
Um,
bet.
Well, go ahead. Let's hear it.
No, that's my most random one. I mean, I've had some of them thrown at me, back at me. That's where the
Mhm.
rhinoceros head and
Yeah.
the head on backwards came from. And yeah, so and I had one. Would you rather, what was it? I put it in here actually. Walk backwards all the time, making the beeping noise of a truck reversing, or have grass for hair. That was one that was thrown at me.
Oh, I'm going the
Chose
grass.
grass.
I wouldn't grasp for hair. Yeah.
That's what I
That
chose.
annoying beeping would drive me
Me
bananas.
nuts. Yeah.
That's in the same category as accordions for legs, isn't it? It's just annoying.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I chose
Yeah.
the grass for
Mhm.
hair because I thought I could style it.
it's like a chia
Yeah.
pet.
Yeah. There you go.
Chia.
Mhm.
So anyway, I was moving on from the would you rather's because we've done enough of those. But
Right. Okay.
one final question then, just to bring it right round to music and that. If anything was possible, and you can go again as big and bold and brash as you like, it doesn't matter. Money's no object here. But if anything was possible, what would be your dream achievement as a musician for either the band or yourself?
If anything was possible.
Achievement?
Sorry, say that again.
Dream achievement with what? Through music?
Through music, yeah. So for
Yeah.
you or for the band, what would be the dream achievement? So
Mhm.
money's no object, anything is possible. What would be the thing?
Well, to me, I would say a dream achievement would be to be on a, on a world tour with like Kiss or Metallica, you
Amazing.
know,
Yeah,
something like that. That would be a great dream achievement.
that is a great
Um,
dream achievement
mhm.
and infinitely possible. Who knows? Could
Yeah,
happen.
but only with my boys,
Yeah.
right? So only with this band. I wouldn't want to do it with nobody else except for DK, Jimmy, and Chris. It's just the chemistry that we have is pretty incredible when we get up on stage. So
It
I
is.
think that.
We
Mhm,
talked about the live shows earlier and
mhm,
and
mhm,
selling it into people to come to the tour and your energy is infectious and you can see how much you all enjoy what you're doing and how well you get on. It's
mhm,
obvious and I think that's really important from a fan point of view and being in the audience. You buy into that. That vibe is there and I think even if
mhm.
somebody hadn't seen you before and didn't know your music and just stumbled into a show, honestly, there's no way they could come out and say they didn't enjoy themselves because you bring that thing that makes people you're gonna come out of a KV show feeling better than you went in. Even if you were feeling great when you went in, you're still going to feel even better than that. You're going to be on top of the
That's
world.
right.
So that's what I would say.
Okay.
And also, DK, what's your dream achievement for the band, if anything were possible, or for yourself?
You know what? I would love for us to have our own festival, much like Ozfest
Oh,
or,
yes.
or Crew Fest, where we pick the bands, we headline the night.
Yeah.
We're the shot callers, and I'd like, for it to be a long running one too. I think that would be amazing. I would love to achieve something like that with my guys.
Yeah.
God, that'd be incredible. Those are two really good ones. And again, you don't know because they're not
And
impossible dreams,
they
are
kind of
they?
they kind of go together because we would have
Yeah,
Metallica and Kiss on there.
you
Yeah,
would.
open for us.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
They would be your supports. You would headline. That's the best part about that.
Hmm.
And that's
Well,
why it's the dream.
Ben, we'll have you come do like the pre-party, right?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, it all sounds amazing. Well, let's hope it happens. Let's hope by putting it
Yeah.
out there in the
We're working.
universe, um, what's it called? We're manifesting it.
Well,
Right. Hmm.
that's where it starts.
If you build
Exactly.
it, they will come. Is that one of those things?
Exactly that.
Mhm.
Exactly
Dream
that.
has to be it.
There'll be a naked Indian before you know it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
no, there has to
Mhm.
be it.
So
Somehow we always go back to nakedness.
we
My
do.
goodness.
The
Mhm.
naked dingaling and
The
dingaling.
ding-a-ling with a 12-inch belly button with a rhinoceros horn coming at your ass.
Yeah, with his on backwards.
I think when I sell this, I think the way I'm going to sell this interview in is to say there's been more nakedness, dingalings or willies discussed, and all of that than ever in any of my interviews before. So I think that if there's ever been a good selling
That's
point, that's
right.
it. Come and watch this
It,
interview because it's where all the nakedness is.
It's an
that's
award
right.
interview.
Right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So thank you both so much. Thank you for your
Oh,
time.
thank
I
you for
really, really
having us.
appreciate it. So you have been DK Revelle and Heber, and now I'm going to try and pronounce your surname
That's the tough one.
Pampillon. Pampillon?
Yeah, there you go, Pampillon. You
Is that
got
not
it.
too
Mhm.
bad?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very similar to the French for butterfly, isn't it?
Hmm.
Papillon,
Yeah.
but it's not
Hmm.
quite. But anyway, you guys from the incredible Kickin Valentina,
Hmm.
half of the band is here, which is
Hmm.
brilliant. Missing the other half because you all love each other so much, but we don't need four. We've got two that have represented. So,
Hmm.
as a final reminder before we go, I did promise that I would list the shows, and I have them down here. We've got Trillions Newcastle on the 14th of May, followed by Bannerman's Edinburgh on the 15th, the Waterloo Blackpool on the 16th, Corporation Sheffield on the 17th of May. Did I say May? I meant May.
Yes.
Yardbirds
Hmm.
Grimsby on the 18th of May, the Tivoli Buckley on the 20th of May, and finishing at the Cart and Horses in London on the 21st of May. So, all in
Yes.
May, some of the best venues in the country. There is a venue near everybody. I defy them not to
Yeah.
find it easy to get to a show, so no excuses.
Hmm.
Right.
The links are all on your website, obviously socials as well. It's dead easy to find this stuff. A little search or a little check on the socials, and the links
Hmm.
will all be there. So you guys will have travelled a long way to come to the UK. We love having you. You're our adopted sons. We love having you over here. So if
Thank
everybody
you.
could go and buy a ticket and come to a show, they're not going to be disappointed. They're going to enjoy it. Like we said, they'll come out feeling better than they went in.
Hmm.
And so why risk having FOMO and sitting at home, seeing that everyone else is having a good time, posting pictures with you guys and having a brilliant time? Don't do it, people. That's my best advice. Go and buy a ticket, come to a show, whichever one's nearest to you, or as many as you can do, because I know you guys would appreciate it, and that's what I've come here to do is to try and help promote it for you and increase the ticket sales and make it a blooming brilliant tour for you.
Awesome.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, just people just come for the music and stay for the hugs. You know.
There you go. That you couldn't
You
have
know?
summed it up better, could
They
you?
dingaling.
Yeah. Well, that all depends on how good the hugs are.
All right, all right. Touche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen,
Thank you, guys.
thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. This has
Mhm.
been one of my favorite interviews ever. So I can't wait to put it out on socials, which
All
I
right.
will do very, very soon. But yeah, thank you very much for your time. You can go about your business now, and I will leave you to it.
Well, all
Sounds
right. And
great.
real quick, we just give a shout out to all the UK fans, man. We can't wait to
Mhm.
come see you. Get all your ticket links at www.kickinvalentina.com. Tell your
On our
friends.
Facebook, they're all on our Facebook. Hmm.
All the ticket links will be available there.
Hmm.
We look forward to seeing, all the ones we've been seeing throughout the years. Bring a friend with you.
Hmm.
And we just can't wait. It's
The
going to be
KV mob is amazing, and we love all you guys. We can't do this without you, and we can't wait to see our home away from home because that's what the UK is. So we'll see you guys soon.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't have
Mhm.
said it better myself.
Yeah.
And hope to see you
Oh,
too, Kat.
yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Mhm. Mhm.
Of course, of course, of course.